suggesting to Venezuela that they should attack the Prime Minister's residence and not Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, that would have caused a situation, it placed her in a situation where, as an elder, she is now incarcerated, if we want to say it like that. She's in some sort of holding, so she's not able to utilize her free speech to that extent anymore. So that's happening, and on the heels of that, Dr. Amory Brown would have expressed that there were also persons, he showed screenshots of persons targeting him, threatening to, to kill him and harm him in some way. And that person, as I understand, was also arrested today. So, to what extent is freedom of speech being abused? That's what we wanna talk about this evening before we go into our regular scheduled program. Right? I'm seeing something here from the Minister of Homeland Security, and he's saying that the intent is not to withhold people's freedom of speech, but to encourage them to use the social media responsibly. He said it's about persons who are using the freedom of speech to cause chaos and calamity in the environment. We are not targeting a person's right to express themselves. Basically saying don't misuse social media. I'm not going to get into the entire article, but I think we get the point of what is happening here at this time. Now, some people may say or may have said on social media, well, when the PNM was in power, it didn't have what you all didn't say to the other party. What it didn't say is what you forget to say. As a matter of fact, parliamentary privileges were being used to accuse Dr. Rowley of some form of misbehavior or something of that nature, which was very tasteless, So, and at the same time, the Prime Minister was recorded as making a statement to Coleman Burt to cuff him down. Yeah, so all of this is happening, and some people are saying, is it that the citizenry are being muzzled? You can't protest because we're under a state of emergency. Now you can't talk. Freedom of speech. What do you think?
Well, good evening to all our listeners. I know we would have started very, very late this evening. It is kind of becoming practice or a custom that we reach late sometimes, because as you know, we also work, and sometimes it takes us time to get here for 4 or around 4 to continue with this program, to allow, of course, to share our ideas and our position on the Third Empire, our analysis of the match day. And that is critical. It's important that we understand that also. However, the comment that you, or the match analysis that you would have raised this evening is an important one.
Yes.
And this is an important one because since the advent of social media in the 90s, we haven't had this is a whole different world for most people, and a lot of people will have born into it, but for even the ones that were before, who talk a lot about freedom of speech and that kind of thing, they won't. This is something new to Trinidad and Tobago, and most developed nations are now putting together or putting legislative in place to protect other persons, because you don't live in a world by yourself.
Correct.
You live in a world with other people who have rights just like you, and therefore a lot of these threats and other things that would have happened on social media, and so I don't see the opposition in particular.
Right.
I don't see the opposition really challenging any attempts to fix this problem.
Yeah, yeah.
This is something that really needs to be fixed. And I didn't see anywhere where the government in particular was saying that they were going to curtail your freedom of speech.
Yes,
so
that's
much,
what Alexander
as opposed to your curtailing the ability for you to interfere with someone else's freedom
Freedom.
of life per se.
Nice.
And that to me is important. We need to regulate the economy. If you go back to Hobbes, and Rousseau, where they would have said that where there are no laws or no systems to manage a society, you would have chaos. Life will be brutish. We are going for a break. When we come back, we will continue with this discussion.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's Radio.
You are invited to join Pastor Morris Johnson of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center, located at number 399 Eastern Main Road, Waiko in Sangre Grande, for the Old Time Gospel Hour Family Radio Ministry every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and on Friday evenings from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. All night prayer live on the street 919 FM, designed with you in mind. This program deals with today's issues from a biblical perspective, and you will also be given the opportunity to call in and interact with us. Micah 6:8 says, "He has shown you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you, but to do justly, to love, have mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." Your financial support through the First Citizens Bank would be greatly appreciated. Account number 795-222. For further information, call 753-1113 or 610-4673.
Nature's Touch Massage Therapy and Nutrition and Nature's Touch Youth Health Caravan invites you to join us live on the street 919 FM every second and fourth Friday morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We are located at number 3, 7th Avenue North via the Eastern Main Road, Barataria. For further information, please call or WhatsApp the numbers 398-8282 or our office numbers 241-7568 and 310-8671. Remember, at Nature's Touch, your health is our responsibility.
Oh gosh, baby, the wedding is just days away. We never booked the caterer.
Oh, wait, just no. Oh, relax, baby. I already called Michelin already. Michelin Experience.
Wait, what? When?
Sometime last week, the same caterer that did our Christmas party at work. Remember when your sister showed up uninvited and she took all the leftovers?
But one thing for sure, the lasagna, the tastes real good.
I know. They're tasty, reliable, and affordable. They even deliver. And if you want, they could cook on site. So go back to bed, baby. Don't worry. Everything done handled. Michelin has us.
Have a great night rest knowing Michelin has you from weddings to business functions. Michelin Experience Limited delivers unforgettable flavor and flawless services. So call them at 474-2250 or follow on social media at Michelin Experience. Great food, exceptional service every time.
Looking for the ultimate weekend vibe?
Then pull up to Experience Bar,
where every weekend is a celebration of culture,
music, and pure energy.
Kick things off every Friday at 4 p.m. with the Experience After Work line.
Good vibes, cold drinks,
and the perfect way to unwind after the grind.
Then on Saturday at 10 p.m., it's time to turn up with Strictly Local Saturdays After Party.
Hosted by DJ Flex 868
and Gingerbread,
blending Trinbago's hottest hits with
global trending bangers.
And when Sunday rolls in,
we set the tone for the week ahead with Reggae Sundays.
Positive vibrations from 9 p.m. that'll have you feeling only goodness and inspired.
Enjoy drink specials, secure parking,
and free admission every single weekend at number 2 Eastern Main Road, Aruca.
This is where the culture lives and the vibes never miss. So come through, bring your crew,
and experience the weekend like never before.
At Experience Bar, number 2 Eastern Main Road, Aruca.
It's Black Friday every day at Furniture Plus. Get up to 70% off in-store and online. Shop unbelievable deals on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. Pay 0 installments for 90 days on credit plans. Shop now and save big at Furniture Plus.
What are you doing? It's crazy. I'm young brother. This year I say I'm not cooking. Hey. Young brother ask me what you're doing. Crazy, your family them go
Christmas with KFC's Festive Feast. Get a festive box, 3 pieces of tenders and wedges for only $39.95. Or a festive bucket, 8 pieces of chicken, 2 regular size, and 2 portions of wedges for $159. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Building dreams, delivering excellence. That's McClatchy Construction Company Limited. Since 2008, McClatchy Construction has grown into one of Trinidad and Tobago's most trusted names in construction. From residential homes to large-scale commercial and industrial projects, we bring integrity, innovation, and professionalism to every endeavor. Our services include general contracting, design and build, construction management, restorations, renovations, structural steelworks, infrastructure development, home construction, and equipment rental. Whatever your vision, we have the expertise to bring it to life. With over 17 years of proven experience and a portfolio of landmark projects, more than 70% of our work comes from repeat clients, a true testament to our quality and reliability. For trusted construction solutions, contact McClatchy Construction Company Limited at 221-5405 or 222-5897 or via email. admin@mcclatchyconstruction.com. McClatchy Construction Company Limited, building strong foundations for a better tomorrow.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday
from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning on the Street 919 FM.
Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
Tune in to the Street 919 FM every Friday from 9:15 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. with Kingdom Health Services, situated at number 125 to 186 Eastern Main Road in Tunapuna. For the program, Health and Healing, merging the old with the new, with Mr. Brent Diet. For more information, call 318-7471 or 484-0141 or 360-4100. It's all about Kingdom Health Services on the Street 919 FM.
The Embassy Yacht is back and ready to transform your events into unforgettable experiences. Launched from Kings Wharf, San Fernando, the perfect starting point for an epic experience of luxury, music, and celebration on the open water. By booking our vessel, your event will include a house DJ, state-of-the-art sound system, fully stocked bar, dedicated cleaning crew, top-notch security. This isn't just a venue, it's a floating masterpiece designed to make your event the talk of the town. Imagine your guests dancing under the stars, drinks in hand, with breathtaking views of the coastline as your backdrop. From birthdays to corporate events to exclusive parties, the Embassy Yacht offers promoters a unique platform to create unforgettable memories and boost your brand's reputation. Call or WhatsApp 399-5959 or email embassycruises@gmail.com.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Merry Christmas.
Starting November 1st, we kick off the Parang and Christmas season right here. Ready to hear your song? Email us your request at street919music@gmail.com with your contact number, and you will get to shout out your music on the air.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
All right, and we are back. Go right ahead, Stephen.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And today, Seymour is behind the she's in the control. Which is a rare thing, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
But whenever she's there, she get a lot of hits. I mean, sometimes you even get new callers.
don't try that.
Yeah, but we were discussing just before the break the issue of the social media
Yes.
concerns or citizens' concerns as it relates to the restricting of what they see as their right
Yes.
to freedom of speech. And our opinion is that it is not that. I mean, if you look at it holistically, you look at what the minister would have said, you look at what is needed in society in relation, the kind of pain and suffering some people go
That's
through
right.
by
That's right.
by comments. People actually die.
Yep.
Right?
And it has happened here
and
before.
it has
people
happened
die.
before, right? So this is something, this is much needed. I mean, the experts has to sit down, look at it. They have to look at what are the parameters, what decisions can be made as it
Yes.
relates to restricting certain kind of bullying tactics and that kind of thing used
Correct.
on social media.
Correct.
I myself, I was used to be and still is to some extent fierce in sometimes my opinion on Facebook and other social media, but I try to be respectful of other person's views, and I one of the things I don't ever do is threaten people, right? Because these things have consequences.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, you know, I've seen situations where people's life are distressed by some things people do, and it's not just the threats of doing people thing and that kind of thing, but sometimes
Reputational
what you
damage.
post about somebody sometimes might be misleading.
That's right.
And
That's right.
sometimes the person who you do it to doesn't have the means to take it to the next level. Sometimes
Correct.
you post it as a troll,
Yeah.
a fake name
Yeah.
and all that kind of thing, and you do things to people sometimes you don't even know what you're doing.
Correct.
Right? So a friend of mine called me some time ago
Let's take this
to
call.
ask,
Let's take this call. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen and good lady.
Good afternoon.
I
sir.
just tuned in. I listened to what you have had to say. I, however, want to disagree with the gentleman and his comments in a way because I believe that what the minister is attempting to do, he's attempting to cull dissent in a democracy. All over the world, you're going to have persons who either wittingly or not make comments that are adverse. But when that happens, there's a way to deal with that. The remedy is either there's a criminal charge or there's a civil court proceeding that treats with it. And people will get the message as to the extent that they can go. But my constitution says to me, a right enshrined in the Constitution, that I have a right to join a political party and also to express a political view. In my view, the minister is attempting to cull dissent in the same way in which poor Miss Olive Green has found herself in prison without the pleasure of seeing a judicial officer. She is there at the pleasure of the minister. Whenever he chooses to let her out, he will. Because if he turn around and he come with another state of emergency before February end, when will she be out? So I come back to the same thing again. We cannot call dissent in a democracy. Dissent is a vital and important in order to keep government on its toes and to apprise them as to the ceiling of the population. So my view, let the people play, and those who do wrong will pay for it. That's my view. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right? So our position is that well, my position is that we live in a democracy, but democracy doesn't mean that you're free to do to people whatever you want. Right? That is not what it means. And I was about to make a comment before
Yes.
the
caller.
caller. The problem is that sometimes we have this kind of fear mongering in society, depending on who's in office and you know who they feel it might be directed towards. They make certain statements. Let me just say this.
Yeah.
If you listen to what the two things or three things, I should say, that the minister would have raised in his comments as to why we may need to go the way of restricting certain things on social media. One had to do with a threat made against a sitting member of parliament and a senator.
Right.
Right? And it was a death threat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think the person
was
persons were arrested today.
Yes.
Right? And the other had to do with a threat made to the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if those are the two signposts that was used for the minister to say what he said, then it tells us that we have a problem. We have a problem in society. We do. And think about it. I was just about to say, a lady called me some time ago, and she was asking me what could she do, because what was done to her, when I read the post, when I read everything, was just unfair.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And even if somebody thought that she was that kind of person, maybe they should not have put it there. So somebody put up a picture, is this your wife or is this your woman? And the kind of comments, and put
from
up her
people who
picture
didn't
too,
know her.
the kind of comments that was on that, I wouldn't like anybody to do me that, and you wouldn't like anybody to do that.
That's right.
And to me, I see that as cyberbullying.
Yeah, of
so
course.
I'm not saying that, and I don't think that's where the government might be going or thinking.
No.
But other countries have gone the way, certainly have gone the way, of regulating these things to protect their citizens. People die as a result of these things. You remember the guy, Kevon or whatever his name?
He was Kevon.
Right? People die for them things. So sometimes people, even with the lady, people will say, listen, if I can't get it just because you are man, sure, you might not have money to deal with it in the way the caller was suggesting. You would get somebody to just take all the persons or persons who did that
there
there.
are people who do that.
And people will use that.
People
will use that. And so for the persons who might be saying, well, look what Kamala might be doing, or look what Rowley might be doing, listen.
It's not just Pekong anymore.
It's not about politics. It's about something real. We spoke about from the beginning of the time what the major terrorists and politics say. If you don't have laws and you don't have things to restrict people in society, you will have chaos. You will have the life will be brutish. Right?
Barataria.
So let's take
Barataria. Good afternoon, Barataria.
Good afternoon, Mama. Appreciate you taking my call. You know what this reminds me of? The first reincarnation of the UN, or the People's Partnership. Remember the young lady who made the post? And we fired her and made her apologize. Remember that? It plays off that we're having the same thing, that voices should be quiet. So let me draw a quote. That lady, as any other blog, and I call that Trumpism, because of the level of Trumpism that is being used by the government, have people upset. Because what they find going on is not real. So let me draw. The lady's argument was that here was going on. She looked at what the Venezuelan Prime Minister said. And here the opposition view.
But
how it is the Venezuelan Prime Minister attacking our Prime Minister? Why you don't attack Trump? You should go against Trump. That is their argument, right? Okay. So the ladies looked at the same thing that they looked at. That the Venezuelan Prime Minister have an issue with Trinidad and Tobago government. And she opinion is, if all they intend to attack Trinidad and Tobago, is not Trinidad and Tobago citizens, attack the government, the Prime Minister, and the UNC. That's what she said.
And what did she do? What did she do?
She put up the Prime Minister house.
You would have done that? You would have done
something. I don't agree with it. I don't agree in
good. So you don't agree with it?
Hold on.
You don't agree with it?
I understand her point. I understand it. I don't think that she's seen it in any sense that she would be arrested. She was just drawing an opinion based on what she was hearing going around and stating here what's going on. If all they want to attack me, don't attack the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Attack the government.
And put up the Prime Minister residence.
Right. It's the Prime Minister who said since in 2013 or how long that she agreed that Guaido should be president of Venezuela. So, from since then, that was her view. So if the Venezuelan government have a problem with Trinidad and Tobago, don't attack the citizens. Attack the government because it's the government. Why are we in this position? That was her view.
But sir, you're convoluting the issue.
How am I, sir?
You're convoluting the issue.
How am I, sir?
We are saying that there may be a plausible reason why we need to put some kind of restriction on the activities of social
all right, hold on. Right, so I'm drawing a point. I'm drawing a reference. I'm raising a point. I have 2 members of parliament. There are 3 of them in that particular ministry. The Douglas politics man and the 1% who have the color and the voice but they don't have the money. And we have the one who on $1.2 million bail. He seems to be the only man working the presently now. I have the 1% said to us some time ago, hey, if Venezuela attack America, India is going to send a nuclear and wipe out Venezuela. What is the difference between what he said and what the woman said? It's the same thing. She put Venezuela attacking Trinidad, attack the Prime Minister. He said if Venezuela attacked Trinidad, India would attack Venezuela.
So
what is the difference between what he said and what she said?
If you see that,
the only difference, hold on, the only difference is that he didn't put up nobody's house, and he didn't put up Venezuela, but he's a minister.
Right, but you just told us that you didn't agree with what the lady said.
I don't agree with putting up the Prime Minister's house.
Right.
I understand her standpoint.
So the only difference is that. Do we all agree with that?
If she didn't put up the Prime Minister's house, this conversation would not be going on.
Good, thank you.
All right, and so we understand. We understand the only thing that they have on that lady is because she put up the Prime Minister's house.
And that might be the only thing that was wrong, morally and otherwise.
I'm not disputing that.
So good. So that's what we talking.
Again,
so that's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about the right. We're talking about the wrong things.
Again, that lady, as a simple lady, we all know she doesn't have the power, the ability of no resources to carry out what she was asking for.
Listen.
But she cannot convince nobody in Trinidad and Tobago to carry out the action that she was calling for. We know that.
Listen, let me ask you something. You listen to the thesis of the minister when he spoke about probably we need to make changes to legislation or fix legislation to curtail the
point out to me.
One of the just now, listen to me. One of the issues he raised was a PNM senator was threatened. How you feel about that?
I have an issue with that.
Yeah, good. We're talking about issues. We're talking about things we have issues with.
No. Don't try to bring in that to justify our action. So let me draw one more point again. I have
You're cherry picking. You're cherry picking.
No, I'm not. I have a minister of no. You cherry picking because you bring in the PNM. I didn't bring in nothing. No, I was just pointing out what is happening in Trinidad. It has nothing to do with politics. I am showing you another issue of the minister of housing. I have Annie Roberts. Took the Vincentian Pride. I didn't know the lady name. I didn't know where she was living. The only thing Annie Roberts didn't tell us is what kind of car she was driving. He put that lady's life in danger. Because here we're going on, I could say, I applied for agency 20 years ago, and where she come from, and she just put in there and get her age. Because they've given us the impression that these houses were the, how to put it, government-funded houses. So therefore, she take away my house from me, you know. So I could be total feelings based on what Anna Roberts said and attack that same female. Not so?
Caller, we agreeing on, all of us agreeing on the same thing.
All right, so the point I'm making, if you lock up the lady and say that she incited her, then you have to lock up the 2 ministers that you have there that did the very same thing that she did. What is the difference?
Got you. Right? That's the kind of that call.
Thank you so much, sir.
We are agreeing with you.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Matheson and Ms. Julia, and to your listeners. You know, I have no issue with the government wanting to put restrictions. My issue is 2 things, really, right? The threshold must be clearly identified and put out there so persons would know what is the do's and don'ts as it relates to that. And also, especially in this matter, it always appears that the actions of the police are, comes with political directives, because there are numerous occasions that we can see all over the social media where persons' lives have been threatened, and the aggression or the great effort by the police service doesn't be forthcoming. It appears that only when it is people in certain categories, then you see this high level of activity coming from the police. Those are my two major challenges with if they want to put restrictions on this. There must be a clear threshold identified, and the police must not act with bias as it relates to who they go after and who they don't go after. It must be that once it's out there in the social media, we mustn't hear from the police where nobody make no report. We mustn't hear them rubbish take. The information is there. They can afford to go after it and find persons in the same way. They just go after and find people when it just happens to be the person that they are threatening or making remarks about is some person in the higher echelons of society. That continues to be my challenge. It's either the police have the thing down on black and white and they're operating like that. It mustn't be seeming all the time as if it's some political directive. Because we saw it with Christmas list. In many cases, you understand, where we just have a kind of wonder where the police getting the directives from.
Listen, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I am the one who believes that. I am one who believes that, you know, what you see have consequences, good or bad, right? And the thing is, sometimes we have to be responsible, right?
Yeah.
And nobody could tell you nobody should have to tell you what is responsible and what is not responsible, right? So you could make your comments. I mean, you're free to make your comments, but you have to be responsible. And ignorance of the law, when that happens, is no excuse, right?
Yeah.
You may be doing serious damage or hurt to people, right? People die for these things. Listen, what people don't understand, if you don't believe what you put on social media have consequences, try to get a job in the real world today. Right? A real job.
Talk about that one.
Right? And see if what you put on social media don't have consequences. Right? I know that for a fact because I've seen it happen just recently with a gentleman. Right? A nice job. But here what happened?
The social media.
Green Light was hired to do a background check.
And Green Light
they look about 10 or 15 things. Categories, and one of the categories is a social media.
Wow.
Right? Anything adverse on your social media, they recommend do not hire. How are you getting past that? So when you say sometimes this have consequences, you have to be careful. Right? So it's not just the government. The country could self-regulate with all these things. But at the same time, there are times you need to protect people.
That's right.
And that's what we're talking about here. Just protecting people. Nobody's saying you can't put anything on social media. If you look at my page, you'll see the kind of madness I talk about all the time. My opinion, by the way. But the thing is, I'm still responsible.
Let's take this one. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good pleasant evening to you. I totally agree with what you are saying there. You see the last word you use here, my brother? Responsibility. That is a heavy word, strong word. Because if we are not being responsible, anything could happen, chaos could take place.
That's right.
Thank you.
I agree with you. I agree with you when you mentioned you have to watch your words very carefully. You could deal with issues. You do not have to agree with everything somebody say.
Yes.
Or everything a politician say. Deal with the issue. You don't have to get personal.
Exactly.
No, I read the thing there with the threat with A.B. Brown, Mr. A.B. Brown, but the man say I was shooting your head and all that kind of thing. And I told your children.
See in public are shooting your head.
Yep.
And you don't want you don't want the government to do anything about that? That's what you're saying?
We can
come on, man, that is being irresponsible.
That child
You're dealing with the topic at hand. If somebody says something that you don't like, deal with the thing what they said that you don't like.
Yeah.
Or talk about a solution to that. But don't get personal.
Exactly.
I want to kill, and if I see you, I'm going to do you and all that kind of thing.
And
so my brother, I totally agree with you. 100% on that.
Thank you so much.
And some people are just men of straw. They don't have the funds to challenge you, as the first caller would have said. So what? They just had to take it.
You remember when somebody appeared on PNM was in power at the time, and I don't know what issue they had. They end up in front of Terence the Alsing house, in front of this man's house protesting, and I am concerned about that. I mean, you can have an issue, as you rightly say, but you go to somebody's house to do that. How far are we going in social media?
So the thing is, I mean, this thing transcends politics.
Yes,
in my opinion,
it's now
this is a national issue.
Yeah.
And big countries that deal with it, places like China and all these places, and you could call China what they want. To me, they're the best economy, they're the best state, kind of control state. They deal with it, and everybody live fair, everybody live peaceful, everybody live among themselves, happy and comfortable.
We have to have some controls. Let me take this one. Good afternoon, welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, yes, go right ahead.
That the PNM education and another one the PNM education from Eric Williamson. What did that thing to say? I think I'm supposed to say. Oh, yeah, big educated like you, big education from the PNM that we were going to say, assassinate the Prime Minister. But when Lollipop come out from and just so, it's one of the PNM because them were threatening you about the last 3 years. He just come out now to, you are security too?
Alright, caller, thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your comment.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Barataria. Okay, you dropped. This one calling for a while. Good afternoon, welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon. Mr. Matheson and Ms. Semoya. I think I read somewhere in the Constitution that the government is responsible for for order, peace, and good government. And therefore, again, if you tie up that with what Mr. Matheson spoke about, the war of all against all, Hobbes and theory, state of nature, you need to have order in this country. You need to have laws to protect the citizenry, everybody, you and I, everybody.
Everybody.
Right? You need laws for that. And what one has to understand, yes, you have freedom of speech, but it is not absolute.
Exactly.
There are limitations. You are limited by the law of defamation. You can't go and libel and slander people. You can't engage in seditious acts. You can't go, that has regulations there that you ought to adhere to. Right? And the right to privacy and all that kind of thing. People have that right. Not a constitutional one, but in the sense that in terms of freedom of the individual. Right? In the sense that you could bring somebody to court with respect to a violation of your privacy and all that. And you have many cases with that with respect to the internet and all that kind of thing. But yes, I don't know where some people come out, and what they be thinking, what does operate in their head. The fact is, yes, you make statements, and if these statements, as a matter of fact, is a threat to the security of the state, where it is likely to endanger people's lives, endanger people's property and all that. You can't do that. You have to uphold the law. You have to respect the law. And this is what some people not, trying or seeking to understand. And this state of emergency was in effect for how long? And ignorance of the law is no excuse. You have no excuse for ignorance of the law. You can't go in court and tell people that you don't know. The state of emergency has the ordinance is there, it's published. You have that in the Gazette and all these different things. You see what is in the ordinance. What is prohibited? So you can't come and say I didn't know and I didn't ignorant and I didn't know this and I didn't read this and the fact remains that this is a lawless society and people believe that they could do whatever they want. You've been seeing it for not today, not yesterday. You see it from very long time ago. And I think one of your callers made the point with respect to the police treating equal treatment. And I think that's a valid point because when certain people, I see certain people say certain things and nobody could care. The police couldn't, to me, it appears to me, I don't know whether they go about investigating those things or not or what, but it appears some people say things and they could get away scot-free with it, whereas other people, they can suffer the wrath of the law. So it's something that we need to deal with, but people need to abide by the law, abide by the rule of law. This society, if you have lawlessness, if people don't abide with the law, you have lawlessness. You could have anarchy, right? And the law is there for that. That is why, to maintain order, to maintain the peace, and to ensure good governance in this country here. And the question about amending the law, well, so be it. But the fact remains, as Mr. Matterson said, you have countries, you look at Britain, you look at Australia, you look at New Zealand, and you look, what is the best practice? How have they been dealing with the whole question of social media? And you look at that. You look to see how they have dealt with it and see whether you can use their precedent in terms of the legislation and whatnot, right, to put things in place to deal with the abuses on the internet and things. Nothing wrong with that. But it requires also a government to also consult with the people wide consultation with respect to any proposed legislation on that. Because in this country, you have people who are about to create problems, and what they use that, what they take away your freedom, they want to take away this, they want to take that, and use that as a tool for mobilization, right? For protest on the street and resentment. So they have to be very careful with that. And let's not say, well, look, we're going to pass legislation. Make sure you have wide consultation, but you need to look at how the other countries have dealt with it. Look and see what within CARICOM itself, how they have dealt with it or how they propose to deal with it. And develop your law, whatever law it is, whatever amendment, the necessary amendment to deal with the abuses that exist in social media. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You know, one of the things I always say, I pride myself as someone who sometimes think, right? And when things are said or suggestions are made or somebody says something there, I like to take it apart.
Yeah.
I like to take a 360-degree view of it. You call that critical thinking sometimes.
Yeah.
And one of the things I realize in Trinidad and Tobago, we like to deal with the messenger.
Yeah. Yeah.
We like to we listen to the messenger and not the message all the time. So whoever say it, depending on if they say it, they check their credibility to see if they're credible enough to say it or do it, and then they attack the messenger when really and truly should be attacking the message.
Correct.
And which is what happens all the time. I mean, what if the PNM do something good? And what if the UNC do something good? Let me deal with what it did and not the messenger who trying to do it. Right? And that's the problem we having all the time. Because the same problem the UNC having is the same problem the PNM had, and they try to deal with it. But we need to put something in place so that we wouldn't be having any problem. You follow? And that's the problem. And this is why a friend of mine, Dave, he said, listen, our problem in Trinidad and Tobago, we always talk about the rat and belling the cat. And belling, who will bell the cat? Our problem in Trinidad and Tobago is really not the cat. The cat is the system.
Yeah. The
problem is the rats. All the rats on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're fighting each other. When really and truly we should be seeing the cat.
To deal with
which is the system, everything that is wrong.
As we are still saying, we're still trying to justify people getting up on social media and saying what they want. And these things hurt people.
Nothing wrong with getting up on social media and saying what you want. But you have responsibility.
Yeah.
And if you say what you want, deal with somebody in a particular kind of way, endanger their life or whatever,
Yeah.
you should be willing to take
the
consequences of it.
Because I think at some point we even had some judgments coming out of court itself. People took other people to court for slander, for saying things on social media
But
that they couldn't verify.
we need before the court, we need to be able to protect people.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, I was just telling you about the situation with the lady
Yes.
who somebody put her up on, is this your wife? Who is this your wife? And the lady was very distraught by what people were saying about her.
And that didn't even know her. I
They
mean, and
didn't
we
know
had
her.
a series of pages. I would like to believe that came out as a joke. Is this your man? And then is this your wife? And then they had deadbeat dads.
I wonder if
and
somebody
deadbeat
put you up
moms.
as this way, what people say.
Yeah, they say, but I out there in them streets. That's what they will say, and it will affect my reputation.
Right.
So you can understand. How
So,
they make
you know,
somebody
social
feel.
media for a lot of us, our Trinidad, small island states like Trinidad, all they come at the same time, but it's new frontier.
Yeah.
It's new, it's like a new world.
Yep.
So
yep,
we
social
have to
media.
put rules to govern the activities in
Yeah.
this new world. Otherwise, what we will have is chaos. We will have anarchy in an anarchical system running outside of the real system, and we will have problems. People will die.
course. Yeah, this is a lot. We really have to put some controls because the social media wars are getting out of hand to the extent that it's impacting other people's lives. And that is when we have that problem. We have 2 calls. Let me
Yeah.
try and take one. Good afternoon. Welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Mr. Matheson, our officiating umpire. or Mr. Matheson, oh, you had square leg today. Which one?
Yeah, I'm at square leg.
Yeah.
I'm at square leg.
Okay, very good topic. And I like how you see, that's why I keep saying we have some serious economic and sociological problems in this place. Now, a society is supposed to be an ordered thing, and that is coming from the founding fathers, Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau.
Hobbes, Locke,
Right?
and Rousseau, yeah.
And and their theory is that when a society has arrived at a state of flux or anarchy, right? You have to have, well, they suggested a Leviathan. That means some religious man.
Yes.
To bring back the society back to order, right? So that was their theory. But I believe I say no, and I say, I do not support these people who sending these messages and attacking the top officials of the land. I do not support it at all, right? Because simple as I am, I have like nobody to guide any missile towards where I'm living. Yeah. But the thing, the situation is that I believe you see a 9-year period, people must study, academics and people really do an in-depth research and study into that 9-year period. Whether it's a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, whether it's what, something have to be done, because that people seem to have lost their mind in Trinidad. I watched on a simple carnival, a Juve in San Fernando yesterday, and I even seen a man in a wheelchair in a crowd, people pushing him in a time like this, right? And we know we need to do some kind of intervention to get this place back on an even keel. Yeah, we need to do that. I don't know this government. I know they inherited. A situation where, as I say locally, you have to have guts to really deal with this thing. They really have to have guts to deal with the situation.
And they had a belly cat. They had a belly cat. They had a belly cat.
Of course.
They had a belly cat.
They have authority now, and they have to do what in their opinion is best for the society. Right? You have this problem, and I keep saying about it. As for me, I come to the conclusion that is what God gave me to do in my latter days. as I reach Narima, people from nowhere, they want this, going up passage, want a bread. A lady, a few days ago, last week, it was Friday in Narima, lady tell me, she says, sir, I want $5 up to make up to buy bread. And I say, well, I say, no problem, ma'am, because I always give, I am a cheerful giver. I give her $10. I go out my business. When I was passing back, she there still. She said, look, I buy the bread. I said, nah, man, you go. She want to show me that she buy the bread. A lady, maybe she only close to 70 or just bordering 70 years. So it's a whole set of issues we have to deal with. But I am still saying that past 9 years damaged some people, man, because we were never people to live in austerity. But since I was born, I didn't know before. I wasn't around World War II and World War I and World War II. But we are people who this generation wasn't born to face no austerity. We get a little taste at 3 or 4 years during the Nara administration time. But for the most time, we were not socialized to live in austerity. So I feel some people just cannot bear the pressures of the life today. And all these are issues that sociologists here, we have to look into. So that's my contribution, right? And I hope and I'm asking God that we get some kind of resources to better the living conditions in this land, Trinidad and Tobago here. Right? And I realize, as I say, the Prime Minister is a moral philosopher, and all that is a personal love to help people. And I put her in God's hands, and because God appoints and God disappoints her. And that I am praying that everything work out for all the people in this land, and that we have some more joy. You walk these streets, you hardly see people laughing and things these days. Now, I want to mention this thing about this cough. I will cough you. Now, people must understand, people grow up in different areas of Trinidad speaking in different ways, right? So, for example, I remember when I was a young fella growing up, somebody walking the street, and a man will say, making a joke, you know. I feel like if you don't let me hear they were talking to somebody their age and thing. I feel like so you know that is no such an issue of people to be clamoring about. The same thing with the boss said. The Prime Minister would have grown up in a village area where stick fighting is a big activity, and so you'll grow up using these words, right? Look me for example. I grew up in Lancashire up here. For the time I was born, well, I never knew my grandparents, my grandfathers, but I knew my grandmothers. Right? None of them could read or write. My father, all he could do was roaches in it. And my mother, well, she reached third standard. So there are words and things that you grew up hearing, and these things are embedded in you. At the meantime, me in particular, I had to learn Patois now. Because my father's stepfather is a man from Venezuela, and when he was good something, he had to call upon me. I learned Patois, you know, by due process. Yeah, right? After that, now, at the age of 12 now, I gone to college in Arima now, I live 9 years now. I have to get myself acquainted with proper English in a college, right? But the words I learned from home and my child, that I was indoctrinated with, stay embedded with me. So I had to kind of reform myself now to talk English secondary level, right? So up to now, there are words like that still stay with me, and if I speak some of the words, people wouldn't understand what I'm saying. I talked Patois once or twice on the same station, and a lady from Switzerland or something used to get vexed and say, "Oh, I talking chippiness." Because why? Patois was an estate language for the agricultural workers on the estates, cocoa and coffee estate, and so people, the Venezuelans who came from Venezuela in the early 1900s, they went in the country district, rural districts, and worked as agricultural workers. And Patois was their main form of communication because they couldn't speak English. My father's stepfather never spoke. He lived 83 years and never spoke a day English, you know. So this is the environment I grew up in. So this was an issue with cough, and they are normal. I don't know when talking to, I could say about the rural areas. There was a normal language or lexicon in those rural thing. They watch you. Your mother will tell you sometimes some children had mother say they had mother mean they had no. That mean they ridiculous. But that's the country way of saying, that's the village way of saying a child indiscipline, they say you hadn't. Right? And suddenly the mother will get vexed and say, I feel like coughing over there. They had coughing there down over there. That is the way they communicated. Right? And I'm sure if people call, most of them remember those days when we didn't have people with advanced, they didn't grow up with no big set of education or literate, is the word. Right? So as a matter of saying, look, Trinidad has its own circumstances. And we mustn't just take everything and make a big thing, right? Because everything now ends up in a political argument now, right? So if you walk too fast, somebody might say, oh, you see that fella, he walking fast, see that UNC. And if you walk slow, a fella might say, see that lady there, she walking slow, so everything, right? So that is how it is, yeah.
All right, Kola.
Thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, take it.
Let me take this call. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yes. So, a pleasant good afternoon to the Empire and to Trinidad and Tobago. Now, yes, people in this country just forget, right? Because Miss Green, apparently she learned that from the goodly lady, right? I don't know if you all remember when this goodly lady, she went into Panda, the pictures of a totally constructed saying that Mr. Man is doing that right money. So on that kitchen Guanapo, he wasn't held accountable for that. Right? So the people just forget. The whole thing about it is they love to give what they cannot take. Right? They love to give people but they cannot take. When they get in it too, they want to people to people. You understand? So Ms. Green only learned that from her, right? And who came with the statement? Killing them all violently. We don't know if those America have the technology. I wouldn't dispute that, right? They have their satellites and they can detect things all about it. But we don't know for sure if all those weapons that were blown up had drugs in it heading to America. I wouldn't dispute if some of them were. But because of these statements now, even our fishermen, they are afraid to go outside. They don't even trust the foreign affairs minister. Because he says, well, they go ahead now, go outside and fish, go fight me. And I saw them on news saying that we ain't going out there. So you see, people must forget. Miss Green only learned that from the good lady. Yes, that nice lady. I love her too bad. Yes, good lady. Okay? So that is my view about it. That the UNC does good and it cannot. I thank you very much for allowing me to continue.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kola. It's our time, we stop looking at real issues through the lens of UNC and PNM. I mean,
the issue here is just
we developing, and maybe we should stop. I mean, that is not recommended. I mean, that is not. It's not really a good. It's not really a good way to foster real development in a country like Trinidad and Tobago, right? Stop looking at things through the eyes of
Let's take this.
The politics, PNM and UNC.
Good afternoon again, Barataria.
Good afternoon. You see, we have feeling to that in 2010 to 2015, I had a lead of the Tobago. And I tell people, this Trump is up, start since Trump put data analytica. They use data analytica and concretize on what you call them bloggers, create bloggers. I see bloggers, even 3 years working water. And the next one, he work somewhere else. They use data analytica and convince, get the bloggers. Here was one of them come on a platform and tell us, nobody ain't called. When they call, they say we mad. There's a lady from Tobago went to Parliament, took up a photo and I don't know if she took up the photo or whatever, and described our Prime Minister then as a rapist. And for 10 years, the opposition, don't tell me that don't look to the eyes of, yes, you have to look to the eyes of the people who come in to tell you that they're going to carry down the road. You don't get in a car and don't look at the driver to see. When you get in the car, you notice the driver drunk, you will come out. Or if he started driving, you notice he's intoxicated or something is wrong, you come out then. So, we had to ask the question. We had a lady sit down and allow the next lady to call our former Prime Minister a rapist. And they did that for 10 years. No, didn't find nothing wrong with that. All on a sudden now, a lady make a blog and say, well, they'll lock up the lady. But as the gentleman just said, they could give and they can't take. And that is the problem we have. Because when they're outside, and I tell them, when you're outside, we are one side. Dragon gas dead. And all on a sudden, Mr. Matheson, whoever your name is, you self too, tell me, hold on, wait. You see, after the budget, they're going to do something to keep people and you are the budget has gone. And I ain't seen nothing yet. They tell me, and I keep saying, the people, the 50,000 people that go home are people that we consider unemployable. So them ain't going and follow that form to go and look for that work. I ain't see nobody get that job that day in the job fair. I ain't see 10,000, I ain't see nothing come out there. And I see PSA now telling me that they get it 10%. When the minister said to us, yeah, we're going on, I starting at 5, and they will get the next 5. Because you can't negotiate for 2 periods, you can only negotiate for 1. So I wait to see, and where they're going and get him up. So I have a group of people lying to us deliberately, because they believe that the population is fools. That's how they see us. Because you can't tell me you read a budget and promise public servants 10% before the budget and didn't put no way money in the budget for the same public servant that you say you so care about. Why would we allow? I have a minister ask a question. They did 4th time or 3rd time. They ask Sturgeon a question in the parliament. And he come up with a section so and so, and he ain't answering that. So don't you think if you don't answer the question, the population will make their own opinion and go on blog and say what I have to say? Because the government is not responding to us. So what you expect people to take up things on their own and form their own opinion and go on YouTube and TikTok and blast them out? Simple as that. Because, as I tell you that last week, if they take away the state of emergency now, more than half the population will be on the road. They don't want that. Because the society, the population, was promised when UNC win, everybody win. And far as we could see, that is not happening. The budget, everybody say wait until the budget is read. Well, the budget has been read. And I have not seen any improvement in, especially the low-income people. I have not seen any improvement in their standing or their living. No way. And Christmas is coming. And it's going to get a little worse next year. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So time is on us. We are just about approaching the other side. The last few seconds of this hour. So we'll be going into the other hour after the break. You know, again, I say it's unfortunate that we seem to see things in a political cap, whatever cap we have on at the time, we see it like that and not see real issues. At the other end of the other side of the hour, maybe we can probably discuss some other issues that that comes up all the time in this game of cricket.
All right. So thank you again for your comments. We'll see you on the next side of the hour.
Yes.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
Nature's Touch Massage Therapy and Nutrition and Nature's Touch Youth Health Caravan invites you to join us live on the Street 919 FM every second and fourth Friday morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We are located at number 3, 7th Avenue North via the Eastern Main Road, Barataria. For further information, please call or WhatsApp the numbers 398-8282 or our office numbers 241-7568 and 310-8671. Remember, at Nature's Touch, your health is our responsibility.
Playway Parang Payday is the order to win more money for your dollar.
The Playway Parang Payday draw is the way to win more money for Christmas. If a white ball calls, it's removed from the machine, and when the Parang ball calls, you win 28-1 on the base, plus bigger mega mix payouts. Players must be 18 years and over. Please play responsibly.
Bigger payouts with Playway.
Hey Richard, you know I have been saving every month so that I could set up a fund for the grandkids. But I would really like a place where the money is actually making dollars and cents to me.
Boy, TBLA has a proven track record of high returns. I actually trust them with my family's future. My father saved there, and now I save in there. My future is secure. Invest where you and your family's money would be safe.
I want quality and security.
Visit TBLA and find out which investment is right for you. For more info, visit tblamortgages.com. TBLA, a secure home to invest.
There's some advice when you hear it, you know one time is good advice. My granny tell me a hot cup of good and natural ginger tea first thing in the morning does wonders for the body. Good and natural ginger tea in its single-sized packets is excellent for flavoring your cooking, salads and desserts. But what was news for me is when my granny say a hot cup of good and natural ginger tea helps with nasal congestion and colds, stomach problems, migraine headaches, and it's really good for arthritis in the body. Made from freshly crushed ginger root to get that strong ginger taste and aroma so soothing. Good and natural ginger tea available with or without sugar, so all you need is boiling water to get a cup going. As the old people say, don't take flambeau to see the night what you could see clear in the day. Good and natural ginger tea. Good advice to start your day right.
Building dreams, delivering excellence. That's McClatchy Construction Company Limited. Since 2008, McClatchy Construction has grown into one of Trinidad and Tobago's most trusted names in construction. From residential homes to large-scale commercial and industrial projects, we bring integrity, innovation, and professionalism to every endeavor. Our services include general contracting, design and build, construction management, restorations, renovations, structural steelworks, infrastructure development, home construction, and equipment rental. Whatever your vision, we have the expertise to bring it to life. With over 17 years of proven experience and a portfolio of landmark projects, more than 70% of our work comes from repeat clients, a true testament to our quality and reliability. For trusted construction solutions, contact McClatchy Construction Company Limited at 221-5405 or 222-5897 or via email. admin@mcclatchyconstruction.com. McClatchy Construction Company Limited, building strong foundations for a better tomorrow.
Saying goodbye to a loved one, we at Precious Memories Funeral Services know it's never easy. Let's help you with our 3 C's: class, comfort, and care. Our services include funeral and memorial planning, shipping and receiving of loved ones, pre-arrangements of funerals and cremations, bereavement counseling, drafts of wills, and estate planning. Free modern-day refrigeration for your loved ones. Open 24 hours and located at number 12 Eastern Main Road, Aruca. Call 222-0211 1-8 for more information. Precious Memories Funeral Services. Today's little memories becomes tomorrow's precious memories.
The Gap Man Limited specializes in products that cater to all your health needs. The Male Enhancement Package targets the areas of the body that contribute to erectile dysfunction. The Male Enhancement costs $1,400. The Gap pills are priced at 250 pills for $500 and 500 pills for just $900. For the best in eye care, get the super combination of a Super Bright and the Body Healer. To improve the heart's function and circulation, get the Gap pills and Formula C. To get a total body cleanse daily, use the Gap Body Healer and Big C, all for a super low price of $1,300. To order your products from the Gap Man Limited, call 628-4531 for products that cater to all your health needs.
For more info, contact 476-7268.
The Embassy Yacht is back and ready to transform your events into unforgettable experiences. Launched from Kings Wharf, San Fernando, the perfect starting point for an epic experience of luxury, music, and celebration on the open water. By booking our vessel, your event will include a house DJ, state-of-the-art sound system, fully stocked bar, dedicated cleaning crew, top-notch security. This isn't just a venue, it's a floating masterpiece designed to make your event the talk of the town. Imagine your guests dancing under the stars, drinks in hand, with breathtaking views of the coastline as your backdrop. From birthdays to corporate events to exclusive parties, the Embassy Yacht offers promoters a unique platform to create unforgettable memories and boost your brand's reputation. Call or WhatsApp 399-5959 or email embassycruises@gmail.com.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Merry Christmas.
Starting November 1st, we kick off the Parang and Christmas season right here. Ready to hear your song? Email us your request at street919music@gmail.com with your contact number, and you will get to shout out your music on the air.
Mira qué casualidad nos vinimos a encontrar donde menos lo pensé. Tan ultra cool, me flechaste y boom, como un déjà vu. Y no sé por qué ahora no puedo sacarte de mi cabeza. Siempre que
thing in the carnival have to fix. I ain't going no party if I don't know who's singing. I don't know who playing. I don't know who DJing. I say I ain't going no party if I don't know who's singing. I don't know who playing. I don't know who DJing. Before I pay, you have to assure me. What happened in five cartels so can't happen to me. Before I spend $1, I want to see your flyer. Who is the artist contractor? Come and mash up the party. I come here to jump up. Hey, free up, free up. Hey, hands in the air, hands up in the air. I just want to jump up. Hey, free up, free up. Hey, hands in the air, hands up in the air. 2026, all the share some licks. Certain things in the carnival have to fix. I ain't playing massive, your man not going Savannah. Queen's back Savannah. Mr. Van Leader, I say, I ain't playing massive, your man not going Savannah. Queen's back Savannah. Mr. Van Leader, before I pay, you have to assure me. We will be crossing Queen's back stage on Carnival Day. Me and my posse, we all in with glory. And we live on TV. Watch how we done mash up a party. I just want to jump up. Hey, free up, free up. Hey, hands in the air, hands up in the air. I just want to jump up. Hey, free up, free up. Hey, hands in the air, hands up in the air. 2026, I wanna share some licks. Certain thing in the industry have to fix. 2026, I wanna share some licks. Certain thing in the Kaiso have to fix. I ain't going no Kaiso tent if you don't have Calypso. Sweet Calypso. On the wanted to go. I say, I ain't going no Kaiso tent if you don't have Calypso. Sweet Calypso. Get out and crop before I pay. You have to assure me. They will not be singing the songs to chase people away. Let's sing about the country, how we can make money, how to raise a family, how to live in love and unity. I just want to jump up. Hey, free up, free up. Hey, hands in the air, flags up in the air. Everybody jump up. Hey, free up, free up. Hey, hands in the air, flags up in the air.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Listeners and callers, we are back. And we have been discussing a lot of issues this evening, and one of key among them was the issue of, again, I kind of echo here, but I don't know. But key among them, the issue of the pending restriction on social media.
Yeah.
And we heard a lot of comments from before the break from persons who are both for and against the issue. Maybe we can probably open the line just for a few minutes again.
Any other
to
thoughts?
Hear those who might be for actually supporting any proposed changes in or restriction in the way we operate on social media.
Yes.
That is with the view of protecting citizens. And here who are against it.
Yeah, we at the point where we can't just leave it to people's discretion anymore, because discretion went all the way out the door from the time someone was killed as a result of it.
So I you know, there are a lot of things that you know, it's a while now I've been looking at these things, and I always say that, you know, something had to give.
Absolutely.
Caller, good evening.
Hey, good afternoon to the Empire. How you all going?
Yeah.
Good, thank you. Go ahead.
Good.
All right, great, mates. I must apologize. I kind of dozed in and out today's session. I really don't like to miss at all. I know I remember you all saying you all started a little late. because you all work also and you all have other responsibilities, so it's all good. I'm now touching base, but Mr. Matheson, honestly, yesterday or the day before when I was washing some dishes, I remember, I know one of your favorite phrases is somebody had a belly cut. I was thinking to myself, maybe we could probably consider coming up with another key phrase. I don't know, it's up to you. But
you don't like that one?
Not so much, I mean, as an animal person, cats kind of favored, but the concept on if I understand the concept correctly, right? The mice or the rats in this case, good ones, just functioning, but the cat is the one who trying to pounce on the rats.
Well, we use it figuratively here, right? For me, I see the rats as the citizens, the proletariat, and the cat is the system.
Right? And right before you explain it, I think it could have mean that too.
Right.
In like a reverse.
So if the cat is the system, and there are challenges in the system that are severely affecting the rats, then and some people may feel that we need to bell the cat. We need to put a bell on the cat so that we understand what is happening when the cat is around, and or curtail the cat's movement. And that
so instead of the system working for us, it come like in the sense the system appears to be the cat kind of feeding on us.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not a UNC PNM thing actually, although it ends up like that most times, because sometimes if one side is the baton side is in office or the feeling side is in office, things that they may have been afraid to do because they feel that the rat it will probably take out the rats. It will affect the rats in certain kind of ways. They may choose not to do it, but it is really affecting the rats and the cats. So somebody else may come and they may try to, of course, fix the system. And that is what, when we talk about belling the cat, we talk about fixing the system to some extent.
Understood. Completely understand the full scope of the concept there. So sometimes it's good to ask a question. So, in terms of general contributions, well, first and foremost, I mean, I hope to hear you all as much as you're all able to for the rest of the season. And just a general, it might sound vague, but I mean, I think we as citizens, whether we have like intellectual terms and jargons, I think we really just need some honesty, and we hope for the best. We hope our leaders, today appears to be the close of Monday. We hope they have a good night's rest and everything, and tomorrow is a brand new day. So we hope when they wake up tomorrow and get some breakfast, get dressed, head to the office, the mindset in their private space is really about seeing about, providing equal opportunity for citizens, equal rights, and simply managing and fostering a country that promotes sustainability and, steady growth. It does seem that complicated to me, but I really appreciate the time to contribute and keep up the great work you guys doing in terms of providing a platform for our citizens. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Ola.
And just to share, belling the cat, it's an idiom describing the act of volunteering to undertake a dangerous or difficult task for the good of a group. It originates from a fable where mice debate how to warn themselves of a stalking cat. Go ahead.
Let me take this call. Good evening, caller. Caller, good evening. Caller, you live?
Hello, good evening to the umpires.
Good
evening.
Hello, this is Gerald Llanos here.
Yeah, Gerald.
How you all doing?
Yeah, strange you'd call man on radio and you're not calling man at all on the phone. I'm trying to get him
I
for
will
some
call you
time
on the
now.
phone after. Let me call you on radio now. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, good so far.
Good, man. So, interesting conversation that is going on, and I feel there's an ongoing deficiency in our discourse, and that is that we are so committed to polarized politics that we cannot make informed decisions on an issue-by-issue basis. It's not the first time I've said it.
Which is what we say here on this program all the time.
It is. I'm hearing people, and I hear the passion in it. But I say something verily, 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 I say unto you. People get the governments or the governance that they deserve. And I believe that, for instance, our Prime Minister, Keith Rowley, in another dispensation would have been a standout leader. I believe that our current Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bissessa, is also has been and is in this particular instance a standout leader. But the mode that our people choose to take creates the framework in which decisions are often colored by that political pressure to be red or yellow. And a lot of things going wrong or not right as a result. So one of the things I invite all of the listeners to consider is that Kamala is not wrong because she is UNC. And Keith Rowley is not wrong, or Penelope Beckers is not wrong, or Stuart Young is not wrong because they are PNM. Their positions, and we could take different ideas or different takes or different levels of support on different positions. It's possible. And I would put our problems as a country at the feet of our inability to take principled stands on issues as opposed to blindly supporting one party or the other and not thinking. And I think that is one of the key issues that we face in our space.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. We need, which is when we talk about, and Kola asked about it earlier on, the concept of the idiom of belling the cat, right? And Simoy was just talking about the story. I talk about it a couple of times on this program. You know, the thing is, Trinidad, for change to take place, we have to see not the politics, but the system that may or may not be working for us in the way we expect it to work for us. And
a lot of them aren't. A lot of them are not.
Yes. So the moment we stop, the moment we stop romanticizing the political elements in the way we do, we will start seeing what the real problems are. And the real problems are not the way you ascribing or where you thinking it is.
No, they are not. And I will tell you something, and I mean, on some days you and I sit on the same side of the political fence, on others we don't. Right. But I know that we always have very good conversations about issues. And one of the things in this particular instance is I think that the current government is engaging in some form of fearless social engineering.
Right, and they have to. I mean, sometimes you have to look at the circumstance leaders are faced with, where the position, the time in which they came in, what was available to them, what they could do and what they can't do, and how much critical thinking or how much, as you would probably call social engineering, or what they could do to fix it, because everybody, the reality that you are faced with, sometimes you have to do what you have to do.
That's right.
To solve the problems.
That's right.
To move forward.
That's right. Yeah.
And if some people just prefer that, hey, we just go ahead with the normal status quo, and at this time, by now, the country had to run, people had to get paid, so everything had to happen. We probably do nothing, and we just go to the IMF or whatever, and we borrow some money, and we send up the national debt again, and whatever. Some people will choose to do something else.
Yeah.
Right? And some people will do what they think they have to do to get there, right? So let's not, approach the politics in the way we probably engineer to approach it.
Yeah.
And see it
Engineer is the right
differently,
word. Engineer is the right word, yeah? But I will say something before I take my leave and give the floor to somebody else, and that is that I believe that some of what the Honorable Prime Minister is doing absolutely deserves some support. But on the other end, I publicly urge caution. Because sometimes it's not what you do, but how you do it. And let us take a page from the recently ousted PNM administration. Some would argue that they were fantastic administrators and they did all sorts of things to keep the country on an even keel. But that didn't change that people hated how they were being governed. And I believe that there's an opportunity for the current administration to be loved and respected and given a fair chance by all, but that will require that fearless problem-solving approach has to be tempered with good politics and understanding of where some people are coming from. So that's my contribution for now, things to think about.
Thank you.
We will speak off of the radio. Mr. Moya, great to see you online. Have a good evening, and thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah.
Now, he raised an important point which feeds into the topic that you, if you have time, will go into.
The thing is, I want to say this, right? Now, politics, electoral politics, we kind of seen as like a two-party state.
Yeah.
Right? So electoral politics is probably the person who would win, and being a winner takes all kind of system also. So the person who would win would be the person who could probably titillate the imagination of the majority.
Yeah.
In a race, an election race. And that's what happens. So if one is seen not to be doing what the majority of the proletariat want, then that one would usually be the one who would be, the holding the sticky and the stick, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, this Trinidad and Tobago, at the end of the day, everybody should want to be wanting the same thing: development, moving forward, moving to the next level. And if we start seeing, if we stop looking at the messenger to a large extent, and no, I know it's difficult to stop doing that, and we start looking at the message, we start looking at solutions all together, how it will work for the country, whatever, then I think we could move further and faster. Now, it may not be financially viable for high-ranking supporters of a particular organization to do so. Because to me, they see it, for them to continue earning at the levels they expect to be earning, then they would have to be in office. They would have to be in the driving seat.
Of course.
And I mean, it's just that. So to a large extent, it's not really love for people. It's sometimes is love for self.
Yeah.
What does really motivate these politicians sometimes to be doing and saying things that they be doing, right? And not just doing and saying things they be doing, they doing, but encouraging sometimes by not saying anything the supporters to say and do certain things.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. You see that comment that what Selvin Kojo had to say some time ago. Selvin Kojo said he was a supporter of the PNM. And I say inter area because he said a lot of things. He was a supporter of the PNM up to 2017. Right? And I am telling you, like myself, I've heard people call me house niggers and all kind of thing. Right? Because I started critically think. If you doing the same thing, you accusing them of doing. But I ain't seen you helping your people. The people who you have exposing themselves in certain ways, then what do you expect them to do? Right? You have to be stupid. Right? Selvin Kojo says since 2017 he started supporting the PNM, the UNC, and they treat him like he was supporting them since he was a little boy.
Wow. Okay. Give us some more on that article.
Right? So I mean, the thing is, this was part of an article. I mean, however, Kojo said, despite his contributions, there has been uproar in some circles about both his ORTT award and his appointment to the UTT board, with critics claiming it is a political token due to his affiliation with the United National Congress. There has been a lot of resistance, but I don't mind my detractors. I will be 82 years of age in December. In December 1, and I have been working like a dog right through and deserve my accolades. He compared his political backlash to the Poet County Colleen experience in the poem Incident. He said he went to Baltimore and it was a beautiful place, but somebody called him the N-word. And that's all he could remember about Baltimore. He said, I served PNM faithfully until 2017. I support UNC now, and they act like if I have been supporting them all of my life. Right? The thing is, when I read, I reposed this excerpt.
I saw, yes.
Because that is so reminiscent of how I feel about the other side. I can tell you things. You know, I supported the PNM for like, since I was a little boy, since I know myself, walking around in Arima, using this thing, used to stick up those posters.
Yeah, stick it on the poles.
On the poles and thing. What do you use? They used to use they used to use so when you mix up flour.
What, the flour paste kind of thing?
Yeah, paste. I do that long time. The thing is, you too, most people who sometimes we call ourselves intellect and that kind of thing, we've been around. They tell us first go and get education, Dr. Eric Williams education, we get something, we move up in the party, we do all of that. And then what? They treat us like nobodies. Right?
That has been the argument for years.
Right? 1 year, you join the UNC. And they treat you like if your family.
And
forever.
there's a lot of discussion and argument about it because we have people who are still riding on the victory of the free education. Because I know of that argument, that free education opened doors for people who in normal circumstances would not have had the opportunity to do so. But then it stopped there. In my humble view, it stopped there. We still haven't made homeowners of those said people. Those people haven't been able to move beyond getting a free education. You know, so on those grounds, when you look at progress, the question is how much did it really do? And so that is why we have people making those arguments to say, yes, free education, and then what? You serve the party, you walk with the party and all of these things, and you still don't reap the benefits or the rewards that other categories reap. And you only hear about race when it comes to the election. Now, those are comments, those are views and feelings of people who would have been hurt or burnt by that party. And then there are others who say, okay, well, we crossed the floor and you are being used. They look at you as though, you know, house Negro, that kind of thing. We hear those comments coming out as well.
I sat down home on Saturday, just before election, and I hear known commentators calling the man a house Negro, sorry.
Wow.
Right? And I find that to be really, really, really reprehensible.
It's we really have that race issue when it comes to general elections.
So really
yes.
and truly, who really the party that deals with race? Which one?
That's an interesting comment. That's an interesting comment because again, for me, I only hear about the racial divide when we come into the election space. You know, I grew up in Laventille all my life, most of my life, and I did not know that running water, came as a result of Mr. Pandey. And I heard about that from some announcer who used to be here years ago. I say, wow, running water was implemented in especially that part of Laventille from Mr. Basdio Pandey. So it's interesting, it's really interesting when I hear
No,
these conversations.
I could tell you about experience. I don't want to talk about it on the radio.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk about it in my own private circle, but
there are people who look at it and say, who does it serve?
They say, well, hey, this is African-based party, they love you. That's not true. That's not what it's about. It's a youth thing, trust me. But the thing is, Selvin Kojo, what he had to say, and the fact that he's in the position that he's in, you know, a lot of people have problems, but man making sense.
Let's hear what you have
Good
to
evening,
say.
caller. Caller?
Hello?
Yes?
Yes, Mr. Madison and Mr. Moya. I listened to your guest caller, and is my belief or my, you know, sense of things that when you put government into office, you put them to solve problems. You see the problems in America with Trump, and because of the high cost of living, unemployment, and inflation, and all these things, those issues, and health problems, dealing with the health system and all that. You go back to the United Kingdom, you see Keir Starmer now under some problem with respect to, well, the budget is, I think it will be on Wednesday, with respect to dealing with the same problems with respect to high prices, cost of living, and all these different things, unemployment, the migrant issue. But when you elect people to get there, is to improve the standard of living and quality of life of the people. And if you can't deliver, then the people would simply vote you out. That is what it's all about. So it's not a question of, I like this person because they are my complexion, my phenotype, or because we belong to the same church, or whatever it is. Rational people think in terms of what is in their interest in terms of improving their standard of living, quality of life. So I don't totally agree with, you know, dancing around and what. That's what it is all about. And if a government can't perform, they exist. And the question with Mr. Kojo and all that kind of thing, people can't bury their head in the sand, you know. Trinidad is a divided along class, divided along ethnicity. That's a fact. You can't get away from that. And don't hide from that. You can't hide from that. And therefore, if you associate with certain people, they brand you, they label you in a particular way. That's a fact. Right? So, you can't hide from that. So, I saw recently with respect to the same issue with respect to why you put people in office. And within the last 6 months or so, I have seen, I'm monitoring, I'm watching at the government, I'm watching them move, I'm looking to see what they're doing, their plans, and how they activate or the action they plan. And unlike the previous regime, which some people say they refer to them as a standstill government, because the fact remains the economy has been standstill for the last 8 or 9, 10 years. Nothing doing. It's just there. And everybody knew, and the economists were telling you that you need foreign direct investment. All they depended on was the dragon. Just dragon. And I'm seeing now where this government, understanding the mandate that they have been given, and the need for them to perform, I'm seeing where they have some trips to the UAE and all these things, looking, signing memorandum of understanding and the like. Because that is what is required. Because I think on your program some time ago, I said, when I was much younger, I saw Eric Williams and those people traveling out to China, all over the place. Williams went to China, a big entourage. And when they travel, they're looking for foreign investment. And this is what I'm seeing that they're doing. They have a big entourage that they left here to go to the UAE and go to Qatar and all these people to see if they can attract foreign investment. So you can't sit down, if you sit down in Trinidad here and believe that you could just tax your way into prosperity and you waste of time. So this is what people want to see. Even if you try and you didn't succeed, it's something else, but you have to try.
Exactly.
So I don't agree, and that is why the people, they have sense, and they realize most of the 100,000 people didn't vote. They realize the place ain't going away. There was no, in fact, it was almost hopeless for them, and therefore they have to take an alternative like any rational, reasonable population will do. You can't sit down there and people think and only tax, and then you this and that, and more tax upon tax, and no employment. All you're talking about is contract employment from top to bottom, right? And what you're telling me, that can't work. So I share a different view, and I believe, and this is what I've been taught, that investment is the sovereign road to economic growth. And recently I heard they talk about, some economists have the different views. You know, some of them take a particular they take particular approaches in terms of how you go about, promoting growth or development in a society. They take different perspectives. But the perspective, I listened to Sajivan earlier, and she made a lot of sense. She said if you pay, and that's a fact, it's basic. She spoke about the circular flow of income. So if you pay the people their salary, their back pay, then they have money, you inject the money, people spend, and when they spend, you generate
the economy things
right, and employment, and down the road you spending again, and you expand, and you have growth
because that's circular flow, demand and supply.
Yeah, and then the one thing I want to speak about, when people are talking about where you're getting the money from, you can get the money, you don't have to put it in you have some fake or false economists, people playing the economists. If you don't know, you don't know.
If you don't know, you don't know. That's what foreign direct investment is about.
The fact remains is that you didn't put it in the budget before. You couldn't put it in the budget because if you're going to borrow the money get the money from the central bank, or you're going to issue bonds, or you're going to borrow from the banks, that can't be in no budget.
Exactly. And
that has been done before. The previous government, I've been around in town for a while. You go and you did it.
But if you intend to go on a roadshow to get foreign direct investment, and you already people talking to you, and you know where you get it, you could make a projection and say what could happen.
Yeah, but the projection again is also based on the remember in the gas, Monilal spoke, and other people spoke where BP has come in terms of first gas and whatnot, 5 months before some months before the schedule. So you expect to get increased gas production.
Mm-hmm.
So you could make that the same projection you're talking about. So you could do it in anticipation that you're going. That's how people think. That's how people get along. That's how you do business. Even in your own private life, that's what you do. I expect him to get a suhan by so and so and so. That's you take out because you go where the money coming from. I expect to get some money from whatever investment you made, and that's it. So I don't know. You have to think. People have to be creative, and don't let those people who can't perform, who never perform, keep you in a kind of thinking.
Yeah, a perpetual.
What thinking? You have to think. You have to think critically. You have to be creative. You have to be imaginative. That's how people succeed. If people don't have ideas, your country can't go nowhere. That is where the country been going down the road. Because no idea, just depending on one source of revenue, that can't work. It will never work.
We just operating on what we could see in front of us. We're not looking to reach where we, as far as our eye could take us, and at which time we will see further.
Yeah.
you think? And that's the problem I'm trying to be. I mean, we need to really get more critical thinkers.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it has reached to that stage. It has
lead us in
reached
a different direction.
But calling people names doesn't make the situation any better. Everybody has a right to support whoever they want. And it's interesting to make those comments because otherwise UNC would not have won by the landslide that it did.
Well,
Perspective
some people still say UNC win because PNM people stayed home. But even that...
But it still doesn't account for the amount of... well, if you want to say it that way, fine. But failure to vote is still giving vote to the winning party. That is my view.
You know?
Yeah.
The fact is, the win they're in office.
Correct.
And win by a majority, you have won
That's
by
correct.
more than 20 years.
That's correct. So
Right?
withholding your vote doesn't mean you ain't supporting. You're supporting the party that win. That's all. You know, so yeah, that's just the way it goes. Call us today.
No, call her one.
Yes, so we are continuing with this discussion.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, when you really break it down, you would see, you could see the difference in the batting side and the fielding side, right? And how they, I mean, I don't know who thief, right? And I don't even want to say nobody thief, right? People mismanage money, people spend money in certain ways, both sides. They have done it since a small, long before the UNC came about. I hearing about O'Halloran, I hearing about the racing track, the Caroni racing track, I hearing about DC9 Airlines, I hearing about Privat, I hearing about, as a matter of fact, one of them come out and say, all are we thief, you know? UNC wasn't in existence at them times. The thing is, at that time, we allegedly was riddled with cockroaches.
Wow.
We in a new time, right? The UNC came along, and the first incarnation, they appeared to have made some missteps. Good evening, caller.
Good afternoon again to the panel and the listenership.
Good afternoon.
In Trinidad, as a nation, we identify too much with political parties, hence the term either PNM or either UNC, and we don't really dive in and focus on the policies and give support or don't give support based on that. But my conclusion in everything is only when we give people who have character the positions of power in this country, then we can really see the type of change that we want to experience as a nation in a positive way. Because as everybody knows, on both sides, it have shortcomings, it have willful acts, it have human intentions that are not necessarily well placed at times, and we continue to suffer from that because of the large amount of support that the both parties continue to get. And in many cases, is not support that they earn. They're just there because, for the longest while, that is what has been happening in the politics. People just giving the support, not because of the outstandingness or the spotlessness of a political party, but just because of the red or the yellow. And I don't know when we will realize that really not working for us, and we need people with character who could take criticism, not waste time with this foolish peacock that we get accustomed to in the parliament when we have serious matters and issues to deal with. But as I say, only when we put people with character in certain positions in this place, we will really see and hear the type of conversations that will take us to a desirable destination. Thanks for allowing me.
Lovely contribution. Well, I mean, that has a sense. Another thing is there's a fundamental misunderstanding of how the politics operate. Right? What's the purpose of the MP? What's the power of the MP? The minister? Some people feel that the minister is responsible for everything. He make all the decision, and that's not true.
It's not like that.
That's not true.
Not
Sometimes
like
the technocrats do that. Sometimes the minister may have a lot of under him or her, a lot of other agencies that are run by boards. They make the decisions, right? And they're technocrats. So the thing is, sometimes we go about, when they work in consonant with each other to do the wrong thing, we have problems. But it don't always work like that. It shouldn't be working like that, right? So I mean, first, we need a different kind of political education and trying to be. so that people would understand where you need to focus certain things.
Yeah.
But we've been left to starve for so long. All we've been looking for is food. We're looking for bread. We're looking for sustenance, without looking at how you get it and what happens. And you see that recently, or not too long ago, with the 10% issue and you know, that kind of thing. People don't really want to hear the other side.
Exactly.
Right? How we will get it. How it could happen.
Yeah.
You know, people
just
it
want to
goes
make
back,
good on the promises.
Yes. So it goes back to promises and the platform and that, which is a totally different thing from what happens when you get in office and you see what's the real reality. All these things, all these things are
easy
things
to talk. It's easy
all
to
these
talk.
things are things people, the citizens, sometimes do not understand in the way they should be understanding.
That's right.
And that's a problem.
That's right.
That is a problem. That poses serious problems in terms of how people, the general state of mind or the general state of health of not just the politicians but the people.
Yep.
Right?
That is so
how
true.
They feel that, you know, this thing is working. And you start having protests, you start having dissent, even within.
That
right?
is so true.
And how to do it and that kind of thing. So sometimes the people who should be talking, not talking. And the people who should be talking, they're talking right through.
They're talking, yep.
They're over talking. And they're just mugging up the water sometimes. And even that's a problem.
Correct.
That's a problem. And I don't want to call names, but some people talking a little too much. Let me take this call. Good evening, caller. Oh, we lost that call there. Yeah? But the thing is, so we need a revitalization of, you know, how that understanding of, you know, of, and if you drill down in it, you will see it began with, or it begins usually with the political parties themselves.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, PNM, some people say PNM is a race-based party and UNC is a race-based party. UNC might be more a race-based party and PNM is a class-based party, by the way. Right?
I don't think there's that understanding just yet.
Yeah, PNM is more a class-based party, right? Although the minions, they deal a lot with racial issues, but they're class-based. Let me take this caller. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening again. I'm very Madison. A thought just came to me there in terms of, you know, the annexation to our politics, to Latin American politics, based on our political relationship with Maduro and Venezuela. And I believe that also was a kind of politics that wasn't applicable here. And people now, you know, they found themselves in because that system is a very triple, right?
Yeah.
And people, you don't have no opportunity. You every day seems to be the same. You all have to try to come out of a hole. You find yourself going down deeper in the hole, or in a let me use the word situation, right? So I believe that and all had an impact on this population. And that is why people like the crazy, what I mean, I ain't the oldest man in trainer, but I could tell you, I have seen a change in people's behavior. Yeah? And because of that kind of thing, look at the case of the public servants. Right? From 14 till today, people are arrested. And the whole infrastructure, the roads, the bridges, the everything, the water, no kind of improvement, and all these things have toll on people, right?
But caller, you get 10%, right?
If I
you get 10%, right? What do you feel about that?
I only had a part, you know, but a portion. I didn't qualify for the 6 years. right? I don't want to say, but next you know, some arrow pointing to me when it to my residence. Anyhow,
So it might happen before Christmas. Money in the bank.
Huh?
Money in the bank might be before Christmas.
Yeah, well. We had a big set of Christmas. I grew up in a Christmas house, right? But I, as a grown man, near a big set of Christmas fan, and this thing I hustling to buy curtain and hustling to paint and all this kind of thing. But so I'm happy for everybody because since I was a child, I know about a happy Christmas because even the back pay, this traditional back pay is always tied in at Christmas time, so that people at the lower strata could have given their wife or whoever a little extra money to go and shop. Because women always love shopping for Christmas. No man I want to be around no man who can buy ham for them for Christmas.
Correct.
Yeah.
Simon, you hear that?
So
That's right.
That's true.
That's right. Come on.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Simon
Yeah.
is supporting you here.
So that-
Spell
so that is
supporting
why-
you here.
that
Nobody
is
want,
why-
no,
yeah,
no man
that is
want to be
why-
wrong, no man who can buy ham for Christmas.
Because you want to eat from the ham, ain't it?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, not only that, when a parent passes by you, they ask for something sweet. And when the parent passes, you can't get them nothing to eat or drink. Right? So people must, that's tradition. You see, all these things make up a society, We have to learn the traditions of society. And that's why I'm saying, thank God this government here now to at least give some people some a little well distribution.
Yeah.
Right? And so people have to be grateful, man. I am grateful. Yeah. Mr. Matas, so I know if I pass with Mr. Matas, I might get turkey ham, pork ham, all kind of ham.
I stopped being home for Christmas, man.
You're flying out. White Christmas.
Nah, not even that. I don't know for Christmas again in a long time. But,
Yeah. I myself, I tell you, I could tell you everything about Christmas. I could tell you about the different type of parang that come in when the tunes they're singing, all this kind of thing. But me appreciate no Christmas. Yeah? Because there are some people, the whole year they are checking you. But Christmas Eve night or Christmas morning, they're in your place doing what? So I nothing that. But I'm happy. I am happy as a former public servant. I happy for all the people who will get their money for Christmas.
Yes.
Right? So I'm very happy. So that is what I must give thanks and praise, and not only come in and think. Because I tell you, this government has found itself in a circumstance that is not, it's not nice to use a word. And they keep trying their best. Yeah? They keep trying their best. So people have to give thanks and praise. Anyhow, let me let somebody speak. Anyway, so Mr. Matterson, well, you was clear today and our officiating umpire, our female umpire. So you all, until tomorrow, please go.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
What is good is that we had a happy public servant here.
Happy for him, very happy for him,
servant.
man.
I guess public servants probably happy.
I
you know
hope
that people
so.
right now who vex the public servants get that 10%, eh?
Well.
Because they would have preferred to argue on the point
well, yeah.
that the government can't keep the promise.
Yeah, well, and that is
but
counterproductive.
The woman done say she keeping all she promised, everything she says. So
I am happy. I'm happy that they got it.
If you feel unsafe home, you could go and apply for your firearm after the legislation. Because all the promises say she dish out before election or around elections.
There will be a balance because in the midst of them having
if
their
she keep
10%,
that 10% promise, trust me, she keeping all.
I think there still needs to be a remembrance that we have people who just lost their jobs, so we're still going to have some issues there.
But 40, it's somebody say I don't think it's
some
40,
people say 40,000.
It's not 40,000.
But one
but
person
she have 55,000 people who on our website go and apply for a job.
It's not that easy to find employment, eh? So I think it needs to be balanced. We need to cater for those persons who lost their jobs as well, and let's work towards getting them reemployed.
I agree with you. But it also requires a certain kind of thinking also.
Yeah, to make the thing
Acres
happen.
are diamonds, are right in your backyard.
And we talked about that last week. So,
Look
and
for
I'm
it.
sure innovation will come back
Right?
again, and we
Yes.
will
Look
give you
for
some
it.
more strategies.
We need to start thinking. We need to start looking for certain things, and we need to start taking certain kind of initiatives for things to happen. Right?
Of course.
Clearly, today was a good day. We discussed some good issues.
Good
While
topics.
although we were late,
Good
we
topics.
still were able to capture the imagination of some people. And tomorrow, of course, we will be joining you. So later,
Have a
ladies
good
and
night.
gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the